and welcome to My Worst Date. I'm Cassie.
I'm Keegan.
I'm Christina.
And today we have a very special guest, Tommi, who is one of our, we've actually follow each other on TikTok. That's kind of how we connected. Okay, I was going to tell this funny story first.
Do it.
Okay. So Keegan was like, hey, there's this Tommi and she wants to be on the show and we want to have her on the show and she's great and this and that. And I'm like, yeah, sounds good. I'm only half paying attention to it. And then I was like, wait, I know her. Sorry, I don't know.
She, they, it's fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay, great.
I was like, oh my gosh, I know Tommi. I did your hair.
Yeah.
One time,
Yeah.
which I'm very proud of because it's beautiful.
It
And the
does
video
look
is
amazing.
video.
It is beautiful.
It's not this specifically,
You
but
did baby pink.
I did. I
Yeah.
made you pink and it was very fun.
So cute.
It was very cute.
You know, we've had
but-
conversations because we watched Single White Female and Ghost for the
Oh, yeah, I
podcast.
get
And
that.
we've
You were
had so
going
many conversations about
Yeah.
like, we're like, nobody can pull off that haircut. You can.
Lies.
They can. They can.
Lies.
You can pull that hair
Tommi can
off.
definitely pull that
Yes.
off. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell our audience about, a little bit about you.
Yeah, my name's Tommi Aura. I'm an androgynous artist based now here in LA. I'm a musician. I've been modeling for many years, dancing, all the things.
All
but
the things.
Yeah.
Astrology lover.
Oh,
Okay, see, wait, I was like,
videos
We gotta put a pin in that because we're gonna go deep on that.
Because is that going to be the, just prepare yourself, people, because is this going to be the crux of our entire conversation?
Yeah,
is
it's
astrology?
If you don't like astrology,
100%.
If you don't like astrology, you should just tune out right now. Just
Yeah.
turn this off.
I'm gonna
Come back
geek
later.
out so hard on this.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
excited.
One of the things that you do, not like of course you obviously put your music up, which is incredible.
Yeah.
You actually just have a new release, right? A new single come out.
It's called I'm Not a Boy. It dropped on the 11th of January.
Oh my God, it's
Congrats.
so
Thank
freaking
you.
good.
Congrats.
Your music is so good.
Yeah.
And you
you.
know what's funny too is I hear it on TikTok. Like people pick up.
People tell me that, and I'm like,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
crazy, but that's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
I
really
hear
good.
people pick up the songs and use
Yeah.
them in videos and stuff. What was the one? Oh my gosh, the one that just recent before that,
Audacity.
Audacity.
Oh look, it's someone out of the intro.
Yes, that was on multiple videos.
Yeah, I know. I told my producer, I was like, I have an idea, and so I recorded that line, and I was like, you need to leave it in the song because this is gonna be so TikTok worthy. But
It was.
Yeah, it was. People ate it the fuck up. And what
Yeah.
made it go viral was I did a tagline about my dad, and then people were just going crazy. But
I love that.
yeah, basically my dad got a tattoo of my name, but asked me how to spell my name before he got the tattoo.
That's such a dad thing.
It's really the daddest of dad things.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
really-
everyone was saying you should have gave him the wrong name, spelled it wrong. But
And then been
No
offended
regrets.
about it later.
yeah, no regrets. Yeah, exactly.
No, what I love too about music, what you were saying too about that part getting picked up by TikTok, as someone
Yeah.
I did music years and years ago, and there were a lot of people, musicians that were anti all this going viral or TikTok or leaning into that. And I'm like, I think that's great. I think that expands music. It gives you new avenues, gets you, a way of getting recognized. And I think it's really smart to play into that kind of thing and think about that when you're creating a song. I think that's so cool.
Yeah, one of my friends actually, she had a viral video because she was like, Tom York didn't have to do this back then. And it's actually someone had a good take, and it was music landscape's always changing, and
Yep.
you have to evolve.
Exactly.
I secretly hate social media for my mental health, but
Yeah.
it's
Yes.
Same. I have this conversation all
Yeah.
the time. The number of times I've deactivated my Instagram,
wow.
and then I come back, and then I deactivate
You're
it
a
again. I'm like,
warrior.
I have to stop doing this. I have to stop kind of ping pong. But it's really hard, and I
Yeah.
think anytime you're in kind of any kind of public sphere, I mean, we've gotten really negative reviews, negative
Oh.
comments, people
know a
saying really
negative
hateful things,
comment.
and I'm sure that you
Oh.
do all the time as well, and
I
that's
would
hard to
say-
cope with.
yeah, I would say I probably get 75% hate comments.
Really?
Specifically on
Really?
Instagram. TikTok's
Really?
very loving. Oh, and YouTube.
TikTok
YouTube
is the
loves a hate comment.
best.
Oh, YouTube is.
YouTube loves
vicious.
it.
It was the comments are nasty.
Lethal.
I just
Oh,
don't even look at it.
I'm like, you guys cannot look at. I
that's real.
love it. I'm a weird Aries. which we'll get into.
Oh, okay.
That like loves it. Like give
hate
it to
comments?
me.
I
Yeah.
actually don't mind them. Okay, if it's funny, like it might even get a story post. Honestly, if it makes
Yeah.
me laugh, like
Yeah.
I think. But there was actually like one thing that went viral on Instagram that I asked my influencer friend, like, how do you deal with this? And she actually taught me that you can hide words.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I did
That's
that
what
for
we
a while,
did.
and that really
You can do that on
helped.
YouTube as well, I believe.
Oh,
Like,
really?
you can,
Yes.
you can pick certain words that just will not come up.
Yeah.
Mine
like-
were like man, boy. I was like, I gotta stop. I can't. I get it. It's the hair, but
fat.
you are
anything like that.
You-
It's so yeah.
Yeah, you are younger, and I'm always interested to see because I had an analog childhood. Like all this social media and stuff didn't come up until I was out of high school and everything. So I'm wonder like what is it like growing up with social media, being a preteen with it and everything? Do you feel like that made like a huge difference in who you are today and your childhood, your early adulthood?
yeah, definitely. I grew up with like the Victoria's Secret Angels, so like even just like growing in the modeling industry, like seeing that sort of media being promoted and these women saying that like they're healthy and happy, like I developed an eating disorder, like no wonder. So it definitely like affected my mental health for sure. So yeah, I don't know.
It's vicious out there.
It's rough, but I think like I'm grateful that I have a platform because like I'm in recovery now from the eating disorder. So it's like I want to show people it's possible to be a creative, still be online,
Yes.
but in a healthier way.
Yeah.
Do you feel
That's
like
great.
the modeling space as it exists right now is, because I know that there's a lot of discourse on the internet about how we're moving back into that like very like thin is in kind of like
the Ozempic.
landscape, which I because we've seen it kind of like up and down because I was kind of like middle school, high school when the Victoria's Secret Angels were super big and everyone was publishing all of their diets, you know, or they're like, I eat 3 grapes and drink a gallon of water every day
so
and
happy.
I feel
I'm like,
good.
really? I'm doing that and I'm fucking
Right.
miserable and
I feel
hungry as hell.
horrible.
Starving,
Yeah.
bitch. Can't
Yes,
sleep.
I'm so hungry. I did the Special K diet, which was basically
I've
just
heard
like
of that.
eat Special K
Yeah.
2 meals a day. It was totally just a ploy to
was.
sell more Special K.
That's
and I
crazy.
did it, and that shit tastes terrible.
Yeah,
First of all,
I binged on it
yeah.
once because I was like so starving. I had like 3 bowls, and then now I can't have the vanilla almond Special K.
oh my god! I mean,
Right?
not to get a cease and desist from Kellogg, but like, man, that what a time to be alive when it was just like, yeah, you too can be thin. Just eat only
Special
one thing
K is
every
crazy.
day. But do you feel like the modeling industry as it exists today is more accepting of different body types? Do you feel like we're moving backward in terms of body size and stuff like that? And I do, I realize we are halfway into this conversation, but I do understand that this is a sensitive topic for some people to hear and
For
to
sure.
listen to. So maybe just fast forward through this part if talking
trigger
about
warning.
bodies
Yeah,
and eating
yeah,
disorder
yeah.
and stuff
Yeah.
like that is triggering for you. But,
I don't know. I think like I can only speak from my experience.
Absolutely.
I have been the most successful in my career at my size, and I know I'm still very thin, but believe it or not, I was even thinner. And so for me, I've been more successful in my authentic body, which is where I am today.
Great.
And
That's really
yeah.
encouraging. That's
Yeah.
a really encouraging
Well,
thing.
I'm still thin framed, I know I'm
Yeah.
still thin, but like,
But that's your body.
yeah, it's my body.
Yeah.
But I've seen, I don't know, LA, actually like a lot of shorter girls work more out
Yeah.
here. And I think the landscape, like my agents actually were like, there was a Levi's casting, but they wanted like size 6 to 8. Because in my mind, they were like, you don't qualify. And I'm like, oh, what do they want? 00? They're like, no, actually they want bigger, like not
Yeah.
bigger. That's not a big size.
No,
but
right.
Right, but
I
for the
understand.
modeling agency,
it's
yeah.
slowly,
Or industry.
I think.
Opening up, yeah.
But I don't know, because I still see these like Nepo babies online, like being like so fucking thin and like post like Bella Hadid posting like her eating pizza. I'm like, girl, I have this like industry insider, but like I know she has an eating disorder. Like because I used to do that. I used to post my food and be like, look, I'm so happy and I'm making all this yummy food. I wasn't eating that. I was totally having a
Wow.
bite and leaving the room, like
Yeah.
crying,
Yeah.
miserable. In my
Yeah.
so
sad.
You know,
know.
The
I'm
Rock,
so glad that you're
The
being
Rock
very
just-
raw about that.
Yeah,
I
like,
appreciate
what?
you sharing that
Yeah.
because I think a lot of people, and like you said, yeah, it can be very triggering for some people, but
Yeah.
it's also seeing somebody who's come through that. I don't think we expected the conversation to go to this way.
Yeah.
However, I'm very happy that you're sharing that. And I think that it's inspiring to see somebody who's still in the industry, like you said, who's putting themselves on Facebook, who's putting themselves out there on TikTok and doing these things.
And also exposing the game that is social
Right.
media.
Yeah,
Because you're
that's
exactly right.
Yeah.
what I was gonna say, because The Rock actually just got called out for that because
Right.
he's kind of famous for being like, here's what I'm eating today, and like I'm gonna eat all this stuff. And recently it was like a bunch of In-N-Out burgers, and he's like, I'm ready to my favorite thing, In-N-Out, and then he always like turns it off before you never see him eat on
Right,
camera.
exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, certainly you're not eating that way all the time.
Yeah.
And so I think kind of like putting forward this idea that like, oh, I'm just a, normal everyday. I'm not obsessed about like my body
Caloric
intake.
intake.
Yeah. No, I
Okay.
still get like obsessed with my, and like I sometimes post the what I eat in a days, you know, but it's like, and I eat that food, that I post, but there's some days where I'm like, man, like I really don't want to have this meal,
Yeah.
and like I gotta work through that. But for the most part, I do take care of my body, and also like I can't sing when I'm hungry, so
Oh,
I
there
don't
you
want to starve myself.
That's right. That's
Can't
right.
sleep when I'm hungry. Like there's a lot of cons to the facade of being really, really skinny,
I agree.
Yeah, food
And I
gives
will,
you energy.
as somebody who hires models, because I hired you, as somebody who hires models in my business, I will tell you, even, we now, I think more than ever, have such a much more open mind about, or not just open mind, we're not looking for like skinniest, this, that. We're looking for real.
Interesting.
That's
You
so
know what I
good to
mean?
hear.
Like we want people to look like the people who are buying our product, like the people who are, interested in the thing that we have. Like,
Right.
why would we? And I understand there was like this idea of being aspirational
and exclusive.
and exclusive.
I feel like that's a lot of, when you're talking about like high fashion runway stuff, I feel like there's this idea of exclusivity.
Yeah.
And I think that thinness somehow got wrapped up in that.
That's so a good point. But I think it's like, I don't know, like the best way, like if you're struggling, or like if you feel like thin is still in and thin is better, like for me, I always say like I can't have that body size and the personality I have today. Like I really feel like I book and I'm successful in any regard because I have a personality. Like I think that's what keeps me booked and busy.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
Getting fans and like creating good content and getting it. It's like I have energy to have good ideas, and you know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah.
Right.
I
think
want to
that
like
that's-
applaud. I'm like, that's really great.
I think that is a pro to social media, kind of taking it back to what
Yeah.
Christina was saying, is that you are able to show your personality now. You are in control of it in a way that I think maybe 20 years ago, maybe a manager might be more in control of like what you put forward. I think we saw a lot of that with like, Britney Spears era, like a very controlling managers kind of like manufacturing celebrities and personalities, where social media does give you the ability to kind of put yourself out there,
Right.
craft your own image, curate your own page, and stuff like that. And that is what draws people in. It's like your unique, genuine personality, being able to get on TikTok and be yourself.
Well, not only that, we're like a few decades into it now. So we've become a lot more savvy, I think, in identifying what is bullshit and what's authentic.
Yes,
You know what I
absolutely.
mean?
Yeah.
So,
But
yeah.
I think that's like for example, like SZA is like superstar, right? But I think what really helps solidify her is like, for example, on TikTok, there was like a couple months where like her tweets, they call them sizzlations, like on TikTok, and her tweets would go viral on TikTok and people would make audios out of them. And it's like, I think what helped solidify her was that personality.
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
what helped her become like, it's like the Cardi B's, the Lizzos,
Yes.
even though I don't
Yeah.
know about Lizzo, but
Yeah.
Cardi B, like the personality, I think is what has solidified their stardom versus
Yeah.
like just being like the dancer and the singer. It's like you kind of have to
Or
have
the look or whatever,
or the
right?
look.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how long have you been in LA now?
I've been here 5 years.
5 years? All right.
Yeah, I moved here from New York. I'm from Massachusetts, but I started my modeling career in New York and then got signed. and
What
came
part
back.
of Massachusetts?
I'm from Springfield.
Oh, gotcha. I got
Yeah.
family in Fall River.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's like a different world, honestly.
Yeah.
But crazy. I had a show Thursday, and for the first time ever, I met someone from Springfield who lives in LA.
Oh,
And I was like,
wow.
oh my God, that's crazy. But
Yeah. It's always cool,
Yeah.
like when you find like a hometown person. You're just
It's like there's a different language.
yes,
A
entirely.
fellow masshole. Yeah. Yeah.
How big is Springfield, Massachusetts? How big is that?
I swear for like ever I was like, oh, it's a 500,000 population place. It's 120,000.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is still kind of a lot, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but not in
Mid-size.
the grand scheme of things. Not when you're in Los Angeles. How big is the population of Los Angeles now?
Too
How many
big.
millions?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It is.
Millions.
It's
It's
millions.
too many. There's too many people
So
here,
many
as
people.
evidenced by the traffic on the 405.
Holy
Too many people in this city.
Truly, truly.
So you've been here enough years now. It is completely different from New York. Do you have a preference?
I always say like if I could have my music in New York, I would live in New York. Yeah, but because of my job, I get to travel a lot, so I get to go to New York, more than not. So
That's great.
Yeah.
How's dating?
I was
compare?
about to ask comparing dating New York, LA.
I love this question. New York is popping. I love New York. New York is always a fucking vibe. Like
Wow.
literally. Okay, so this last summer I tried to be in my hoe era.
Yes.
I love that for you.
never
I love
had a
this
hoe
for you.
era.
I love that for you.
And I was like, okay, I need to do this because I feel like when you're in your 20s, like this
That
is
is
the time
exactly
to be hoeing
right.
it up.
I am so pro hoe.
I didn't get to have a hoe era, and I'm very jealous.
I
Right?
want us to make T-shirts that are just say pro
Pro
hoe.
hoe,
Pro hoe.
merch, TM.
That's a
Yeah, we
really
got it. No, because I 100%
Yeah.
believe that it helps you just embody your body,
Yes.
embody what you like.
Yes.
It just helps you learn yourself so much.
Yeah.
Doing it safely and responsibly. I'm so pro ho.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So
pro
yeah.
hoe.
okay.
So
Continue.
I tried to do it. So when I came to New York, I downloaded Tinder, which is like the controversial app, right? But in New York, it's a vibe. It's like I literally matched with like 5 models right away. And then
Amazing.
I smashed one of them. There you go. We smashed. But it's like anytime I go to New York, it's always a vibe. I always end up meeting someone. They also like they don't ask me weird questions about like gender. They don't make it a thing. Like it's just energy.
Okay.
And it's just always fun. But LA is so
Yeah.
weird. LA
Is
so
it?
weird.
Tell me, I want to know everything. What makes LA a difficult or weird place to date?
Like I can't tell you how many if I talk to a guy, how many DMs I get that's like, Tommy, you got a pussy, right? Like you have a pussy. Like first question off the bat. Like
Oh,
straight up.
that's
I'm like, oh, happy Sunday. Like
Wow.
yeah.
yeah.
So I don't know. LA, like I haven't had really any luck. I
Oh.
am talking to someone new and I do like them and it's not weird, but it's always sort of a thing out here. I don't know.
I think there's a ton of people. What I found when I was dating out here was like it really is a diamond in the rough situation
Yeah.
because
That makes
you have to separate it is very much weighted for those like people that are just on Tinder, especially to just have a sexting buddy or just be filthy right off the bat instead of it being like there were times where I wasn't looking for a relationship or anything, but I'm still like, that's not the way to get me into
still wanna
bed
be
either.
respected.
You know what I mean?
You still want to be respected. It's
Yeah.
not like you're like
A
I'm
respectable
not trying.
hoe.
Yeah, you still got standards.
Exactly.
Okay? Listen, you can't just come in hot with whatever. Okay, I'm not
exactly.
just gonna accept any kind of treatment over here.
That's right. That's
Well,
right.
the hoe era didn't end up working because like the second person I hooked up with, I caught feels. But
God.
so I was like, yeah,
Well,
can't do it,
I have a
but-
feeling that would be my problem too.
Well,
I think
this is
that's
what
why I
happens
just-
when you got 2 water signs.
Oh, I was gonna say, what's your sign?
I'm a Pisces.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so
Yeah,
I'm
Cancer.
Yeah.
No way.
Oh, hun. Yeah, so we're.
Like if
I
you're
think,
nice to me, I hear wedding bells. Are
I'm
you kidding
exactly.
me?
I'm fantasizing. I'm fantasizing about the future
Yeah.
immediately. Yeah.
Yeah. And if it's good,
All you have to do is be nice. The,
Yeah,
the bar
literally.
really is like so.
Just be nice and put it down. It's like
Dude,
my standards.
My
Yeah.
Capricorn, cold heart.
You're
could
a
never.
Capricorn. Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Very.
You're about your business.
Yeah.
About your bag.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like, I need a list of reasons. I need, you know
Pros
what I
and
mean?
cons.
It's,
Give me-
it's hard for me to catch feels
Yeah.
right away.
Before we
so.
leave today, you must do your mini interview with all of us, including
including
Yeah.
Oscar.
And
Oh,
Oscar.
that's such a
Yeah.
good idea.
Yeah.
Like on the podcast or like on my
or-
phone?
Whichever.
I didn't
whichever
bring
you
my
prefer.
headphones. Oh my god.
I'm like,
crazy.
yes.
I should do that. I
Check.
know.
Yeah.
I love the astrology interviews. TikTok really loves them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
Heck yeah.
so fun.
I'm
so
obsessed with astrology.
if you haven't seen Tommy's TikTok, she does these like little mini interviews where she asks people what's your sign, and then what is your next question.
It's always changing.
The one I always see is the when you ask people what sign would you never date again.
Oh yeah, you know they
Oh.
love my family ones because what I'll do is like if you could eliminate one zodiac sign, which sign would it be? And then whatever sign they say, I go to that sign next.
yeah.
So it's
yeah.
like the drama. They love like the drama of it all.
Yeah.
But yeah,
You know, I feel like there's so much, there's such a big difference between like, because with Cassie's question, because I feel like that has come up before. I think we even did a TikTok about that. I'm a Pisces, love Pisces. I actually defend Pisces all the time because I
okay,
feel like they
period.
get criticized so often. So I feel like I defend Pisces all the time because I do feel like I think Cancers
Justin
as well.
Bieber, how can you defend
But
that
that is
man?
exactly what I was about to say. Is
Wait a
when I'm
minute.
asked like what sign I would never date again, it's a Pisces man.
For sure.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a difference between Pisces men and Pisces women. I'm so
Totally.
sorry. I love Eric.
Yeah.
I
He's
couldn't-
great for you.
He's great for you. I love that
this is for you.
No, it is good for
for
me to
me-
have a water sign,
Yes,
actually.
yes.
Yeah.
That
For
is.
me, I could never date a Pisces man again.
Same.
That was an absolute.
But what's your favorite sign
Nightmare.
that you've ever been with?
You know, I actually, and this, I realize that this sounds like a recipe for disaster, and it probably is. But I loved a Libra.
Oh, a Libra.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That
Yeah.
is
Yeah, like
very interesting. How were
you can have
who
so
made
many
any
conversations.
decisions?
No,
Right? Oh, Libras are so indecisive. That's so
that's
true.
absolutely true.
Did
And
anything
so
ever get
true.
done?
No.
no
but
decisions
the
were made.
conversations were great.
You're
Yeah,
still
probably.
talking about where to go to dinner.
The conversations were awesome.
That was
You don't have
6
to go
years
anywhere.
ago.
exactly.
You don't have to go anywhere. You can just
The
like sit
conversations are good.
with a bottle of wine and you
What
know,
kind of
like,
wine?
Just
Wait, you're with a Pisces?
I am.
What was
I
your
am.
least favorite sign you've ever been with?
Aries.
Oh, period. Oh, wow. Okay, so
Fast.
then what about you?
I'm an Aries.
Favorite sign, least favorite.
I think it's a tie for me. I could never date another Pisces. It doesn't mix well with Aries. That's
Okay.
period.
Yeah.
I could never date a Scorpio.
Oh, okay.
And I have a really good friend that I grew up with as a Scorpio, but it's just I think that the Scorpios that I've known and met, we clash in a way that is not good.
Not the vibe.
Not good.
What was your fave sign?
My favorite sign, well, obviously I have to say Capricorn because my husband's Capricorn.
Oh,
but
right.
I would say, yeah, honestly,
Oh, Aries, Capricorn, really?
I know. I
What
know.
a
Yeah, because that
match.
was
I
my
know.
my ex-husband.
I know.
Oh.
And it was the communication was never right.
Oh,
and
we're
like
the
we were
opposite, yeah.
we were very
Oh, I wonder what your
stubborn.
moons are and your Mercury.
Well, but you know, also,
Yeah.
and I do have to say this again, I do think that you're an Aries woman with a Capricorn man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a
Yes.
Capricorn woman with an Aries man. I think
very different.
It's different. I think
think
Aries
so.
men and women
Yeah.
are
I think-
different.
Yeah.
gender is
Yeah.
is different. You know?
Yeah.
But then you get the conversation like, what about a non-binary person?
That's
It's like,
right.
That's
oh.
true. Yeah, that's true. But I think that there is something about the way, and I'm going to speak pretty broadly, not that I think that your ex pays attention to this at all, but like, I
Like,
do
Adam.
think.
Send it to him right now. Oh my God. Let's choose violence today.
Hell yeah.
But
X
I
for a
do
reason.
think that there is something, you know, societally about the way that men are socialized in our country, where they're, and especially I know him, and he's an only
Yes.
child
Oh,
and
that's
a
different.
man, and
Yeah.
I think that he's been like infantilized in a lot of ways, and then he's an Aries, so he's the baby of the zodiac.
Yeah.
He's,
Yeah.
you know. So I just
A lot of
think
things have compounded.
that probably made your
only
Capricornness not.
Not-
Couldn't. He was broke.
Yeah.
Broke boyfriend. You were coming home. He's like on the couch playing Grand Theft
taking a
Auto.
nap.
You know, like
and I'm like,
broke?
yeah, oh,
Hell no.
yeah, it was.
It ain't my kind of Aries.
gotta have
I'm a
something
go
going on.
fucking
Right.
getter Aries.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
Exactly.
sure.
Like,
Exactly.
yeah. I'm get shit done, go do the thing,
Yeah.
be on it. kind of person. Like, so it's very opposite in that regard.
Yeah.
But then my Capricorn husband is much more relaxed than a traditional Capricorn as far
Where
as
I'm
like,
like type
he's
A.
like, he likes and enjoys structures, but it doesn't have to be his structures or his things that are put in place. He likes structures built around, like we have things the way that we do them, but it's just kind of, it's not been like the law and, you know, it has to be done a certain way.
Well, that's why you were saying it's like what's the moon, what's the rising
Yes.
and
Yeah.
stuff, because that's
Yeah.
like
Oh, I would love to know. What's your big three, Tommy?
Oh, my big 3 is Cancer Sun, Taurus Moon, Sagittarius Rising.
Wow.
Interesting.
Oh, fun.
That's a
Very
good
fun.
little
I think
mix,
that's a fun
actually.
I
mix.
love my mix.
Yeah, that's a really
It's a
fun
good,
mix.
it's a good build and mix.
Go getter, but I'm always a good time. And I feel like people always think I'm a Sag, a Leo, or an Aquarius.
Yes.
It's that rising. It's that like Sag rising. Yeah.
Honestly, only because I know you're a Cancer, but if I had to guess, Aquarius.
I get that.
Because you have that
Is it
kind
the
of
look, the weirdness.
It's yes.
weird.
There's
They're
there's
weird.
that alien thing, right? Which is
Yeah.
it's so fun. But Aries or Aquarius can be very like, or you know, like very open and like, you know,
Okay, yeah.
embracing in a way, open to embracing weirdness too, which is really cool. Like they tend to be friends with a lot of people and friends with anybody,
That's true.
can talk to everybody.
Yeah.
But you know, Cancer makes sense too for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. Although I would never like date another Cancer. Tried it twice. Terrible.
No. Yeah. I really do feel like it is a sensitive water sign trait where it's just like we can't date each other.
No.
We need something
Yeah.
something else going on. Something to like ground us, round us out.
Yeah.
Keep us from just flowing all over the place.
Yeah, 100%.
You know.
I think Cancer men are actually the worst. Oops.
Oopsie.
Yeah, but
I
have
won't
personal
disagree with
experience.
you.
Yeah. Okay,
I
period.
said I won't. I will not disagree with you. My dad was.
my dad too. Yeah. It was and I mean it being my sister sign, it's like either
You love it or
love
hate
it or
it.
hate it. Yeah. So.
Me and Libras for sure.
Or both.
Love or hate.
Very real. Yeah,
I love
was-
my sister sign. Virgos are great.
Oh, that's right. That is. I don't. Oh, so yeah, Capricorn. But yeah, okay. So my like guilty pleasure is reality TV.
Oh,
Okay, and
let's talk about it.
I love Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. It's my favorite. I know that no one would think that. This pasty white bitch. But yeah, I fucking love Love and Hip Hop. And there's this one guy, Safari. He's a Cancer man. And the last season was all about the divorce of Safari and Erica Mena. And it was Safari's a Cancer man and Erica's a Scorpio. And he did her so dirty. And I literally finished the season because my mom was married to a Cancer man. She's a Leo. And I called her and I told her about the whole season. I go, girl, I know what you went through now. Like, watching this season. I would never be with a Cancer man. This guy did her dirty. So yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. That makes sense for me. You know,
There's a vindictiveness that is buried
There's
just
no
below the
accountability.
surface.
There's no account. It's always reflected, and there's always manipulation behind it. Is what
Yeah.
I saw in the season. I was like,
Oh my god!
you know,
That's-
though, I have to say, because I think there are lots of examples of like Cancer men celebrities, Pisces men celebrities who are kind of like,
Yeah.
"Ugh." Gemini men.
I love
well, Kanye West. is
Kanye,
like-
you got Kanye, you got Trump.
Oh, Trump.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Sorry, they're
My
both
dad.
Gemini men.
That's enough experience right there. That is fucking crazy.
Wait, Oscar,
what's your sign?
What's your
What's your sign?
Yay!
Yay!
All right.
I do love a cat.
Capricorn.
I
Did
just
you
want to
just
make sure I
say
didn't
that?
just insult Oscar.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
so nice.
you actually remind that makes total sense. That kind of chill, like doesn't have to be in charge of everything, but if somebody needs to be in charge, we'll take charge.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. I'm currently talking to a Leo.
Oh,
Leo.
But my
mom's
astrologer
Leo.
friend, my mom's a Leo too.
Oh yeah, you did just say that.
Yeah, but my friend who's an astrologer said that I should be with, actually based on my placements, a Leo or a Pisces. I said,
can
well, we
see
have
that.
to eliminate the Pisces. I can't do
I
that.
can see with the
But the
Leo.
Leo, yeah.
I can see with the Leo.
We'll see.
Oh,
I'm
power.
trying to not put all my eggs
No,
in
no.
the basket, but the basket's really pretty, and I think all my eggs should be in that basket.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Listen.
You're like,
I'm like,
I
don't
do what I
wanna-
want.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, I love that phase.
Yeah, but how do you like not put all your eggs in? So like my mom was like, still talk to others.
You're like, diversify your portfolio.
I know, so, but it's like I really like them. Like I really like them.
Listen, I think that there's, of course, right? Like, I think that we like try to like stay like, oh, this is, you know, what you should do or shouldn't do. The fact of the matter is you should just do whatever feels good for you at the moment. And if it feels good to be in this relationship and just be with that person and just really enjoy it, don't overthink it. Allow it to happen. Allow yourself to have fun. Allow yourself to be in that moment. If it falls apart, it falls a fucking part. And life moves on and you'll find somebody really amazing next. But there's no rule to it. You don't have to not. I mean, if you want to date other people, do that. But if you want to be there and you want to be with this person and that's who you want to spend time with, girl, do it.
Yeah, I agree. I think we've had that conversation before, that there's so many rules, especially like to hookup culture. There's like so many rules. You have to wait this amount of time before you text back or you call back or you blah, blah, blah. And everybody just gets like really, really in their head about how all of it works. And I don't think that you have to be. I mean, I think that there's something to be said for protecting your own heart. And, you know, because I understand, I'm quick to heartbreak because I'm quick to have feelings.
But if you're not authentic to yourself from the beginning, then it's going to doom it to fail anyways.
If you're dating others and you don't want to be, then you're forcing something that isn't. That's like, so true. You know, like.
But what do you feel about like, so I think that like it doesn't matter when you hook up, like have sex first, because I think it's just based on where you're at and the energy of the people.
100%.
Yep. Is that, do you think?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, you mean in terms of like
how many
dates,
date,
whatever you have before you hook up with someone?
Like I have like, my godmother, she's like my mentor to me, and she's very much like, until the relationship is defined, absolutely do not put out for that person.
I think it depends
on safe.
Yeah, and it depends on who you are. Like I think that some and how you view sex. Like I think that some people put a lot more on it than other people do, and I think it also varies from person to person.
You're absolutely right.
Like not just like between me and you, but also between me and this person and me and that person. I might feel differently about when I want to engage in something physically with them based on how I'm feeling about that particular person, you know?
Well, and not just that particular person, but to your point, vibes. I mean,
the energy,
it really is like an energy.
Yeah.
I don't put a ton of importance on sex, but you know, I would definitely be like, oh, I like this person enough. Let's go have fun or whatever. But, I remember when I first started dating my now husband, Eric, like I was enjoying my single life. I was having a great time, and I was inauthentic at the very beginning because I was like, I'm still going to date other people. I'm going to guard my heart. Like I really liked him. But he makes fun of me for it now. I was like, just so you know, I have another date on Wednesday. You know, like,
oh my God, how soon did you hook up? How soon did you guys have sex?
First date.
Oh, but you guys have been talking also for a long time.
We've been
like
talking
they were talking on the phone
for a few weeks. Yeah, we have been talking and texting. We were staying up. It was so weird. We were having these phone calls and we would stay up till like 5 a.m.
I love that.
talking about the most random shit. And
so
it
once
was
you met, it was
on and
on.
popping.
We'd had 2 weeks of like foreplay and these intense conversation. We were just like eating food, just. I'm like, we're done. Can we just go back and have sex now?
Yeah. Wait, how soon did you hook up with your?
God, I don't remember. I've been with my husband for almost 20 years, so
like my whole
a
life.
long
So
time. No, girl, my son is older than you. I know. We've had this conversation. I don't want to talk about it. Sorry. Sweet child of mine. When I met Chris, I think that the rules were a little bit more like, oh, I think we're a lot looser now than we were when I started
in Ohio.
And
too.
we were in Ohio.
You weren't in LA. You weren't dating.
I mean,
in Los
I
Angeles.
was definitely finishing up my hoe phase as well. So, but you have to be much more quiet about it. And if you meet somebody that you're like, oh, I want to be with this person, you can't show them the hoe phase. But so I think that I was more stuck in the rules. But it wasn't that long. I'm not gonna lie. I was not that hard to get in bed. I was. Yeah.
Wait, can I ask? Okay, so the person I'm seeing is a guy.
Okay.
Which is controversial, but
I saw that look that passed your face. You're like, I'm sorry. That was.
I apologize.
It really is
to my
annoying.
queers.
I mean,
It is annoying.
He said that he usually hooks up with people on the first date, but in my mind, I'm like, it's a guy, and is he saying that just to get in my pants? We didn't fuck on the first
yes.
date.
Yes.
Every
You didn't.
yes.
You
did
didn't.
not. No,
Okay.
we didn't. On the second.
Okay.
On the second.
Yeah.
But I was like, is he just doing all this to like get in my pants is the thing. But there were like, I don't know, there were certain things that I'm like, I feel like that's a lot of effort to just want to get in someone's pants.
Girl.
You know? I don't know though.
I swear to you, literally just all of my dieting experience was that. And I don't know, again, if it has a lot to do with the timing, like period wise, like where we were at that time. But guys would literally, you'd think this guy loved you.
Oh shit.
And you'd go and then you'd fuck him, and then you're like, never hear from him again. And I'm like, I feel like people are much more upfront. And I'm like, I would have been fine with that. Like, but just be clear about it. I think people are much more clearer about their intentions.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, like I called my mom obviously like right after everything and was like venting to her, and she was like, just be cool. And so I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna reach out. I'm gonna wait to hear back because we just hooked up or whatever. And then like that night I had a show, and he like texted me like, good luck at your show. So I'm like, okay, I think
there you go.
he probably is more interested than just
I would say.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he did the Instagram comment and everything. I'm like, okay, so he's trying to take this shit public. Okay.
Okay.
So I don't know. We'll see, but yeah.
Yeah. I think that's it too. You just kind of try to like not put too much pressure on it, and then you're just like,
I'm a Cancer though. It's like
I
I'm
know.
wired to overcome.
I know.
I'm wired
I know.
to like see wedding bells.
but the thing of it is too is what it all boils down to is just good communication.
Yeah.
You know, and if you're feeling a certain way, you should be able to express those feelings without repercussions of it going badly.
But I'm nervous
And if
it'll
that
be too
does go
soon.
badly,
But
then
what if the I'm like if I haven't even known the dude, like okay, I feel like I'm gonna say this and everyone's like, you're insane. But we talked for like a week before. I've known him like 2 weeks.
Okay.
knew
But I'm like, I don't want to tell him like what is
after
this?
my first date with my husband, I met my mom for lunch that next afternoon, and I was like, I'm gonna marry this guy.
What?
So listen, I
that's so
don't
romantic.
think that there's anything wrong with that. I think that sometimes you do know when you know.
I mean, Christina moved her now husband in like a month into their relationship.
And-
3 months. 3 months.
Keegan's like
Okay,
2
that's
days
so
after they met.
It's very
Yeah,
soon.
wow.
But yeah, I mean, I'm also
Sometimes when you know is what I'm trying to say.
and I'm also, the age that I'm at, I'm in my 40s now.
Slay.
Slay. But yeah, I mean, you've been around, you've done the dating back and forth, and I also knew at that point, I was like, if it doesn't work out, I'm gonna be okay.
Yeah.
I've lived on
that's
my
so
own.
nice.
You know what I mean? If you know yourself and you're confident in yourself, I am always the person that I'm like, I'll jump. I know for a fact I can pick myself back up. If I
Okay,
fall
wow.
down, I've got a good support system within myself, with my friends, with my family. Like if it gets fucked up, it gets fucked up. But I would rather jump than look back and say, what if?
And
You know?
I also think, I understand the hesitancy around, scaring somebody away, getting
Yeah.
too much too soon, like stuff like that. But what I will say in terms of having that kind of conversation of just like, well, kind of what is this? The right person isn't going to be upset by that.
So
You know, like the right person is
exactly
going to
right.
be willing to have that conversation with you and will hopefully be honest about it. If they're like, it's too soon for me to really think about that,
Yeah.
but they shouldn't get angry about it.
That's
they
right.
shouldn't overreact to it.
Yeah.
And if they do, then that I think is a red flag that you should pay attention to,
Yeah, I think what's tripping me up is like when I first met them, they were like, yeah, I'm kind of trying to be in like my introspective like era. And I'm like, so why the fuck are you on a date right now? Like what? And like all the actions have not given introspective era. So I'm like, but I will say what I think maybe, I don't know, I'm overanalyzing. I'm sorry. But like,
No, that's what we're here for. I love this.
I am a tiny bit older than him, and I make my own bag. Like I know I don't need nobody. Like
Right.
I'm successful. I have my own shit going on. And he was like, that's one reason I broke up with my ex was because she had like nothing going on for herself. So I'm like, okay, maybe he's needing someone who he can still be in his introspective era because they have their own shit.
That's
going
right.
on.
Right.
You don't have
Yeah.
to focus
Right.
too much on the earth.
absolutely.
I don't know.
I mean, because the thing is, we've all been in long-term relationships. You're going to have moments of evolution throughout your life. Like if you're going to grow with somebody or you're going to have somebody in your life for like a really long time, like you're going to have hills and valleys. You're going to need moments to yourself to be introspective. That doesn't mean isolated. That doesn't mean alone necessarily. And you need space, maybe like a little bit of space, but that's something that can be like worked out and talked through within a relationship, you know? It will have to be, because it's not like a thing where it's like you decide, okay, I'm in my early 20s. This is my introspective era. This is my solitude era. And then after this, I'll never have to do it again. You know what I mean? You will, you know? So if your goal is to be with somebody long term, you're going to have to learn how to navigate balancing having a relationship and also being able to work on yourself and grow.
But I will say, anybody that you decide to bring into your life, make sure that they're your number one cheerleader, that they're cheering on all the things that you've done. Because I've definitely been in relationships, and this is a special kind of hell when that person resents.
Oh, we don't want a Simone Biles husband over here.
Resents your success.
Oh my God.
When they just slowly like pick at the things that you're doing independently on your own. Oh, it's the worst.
No,
it's the worst.
He was so encouraging. Like I was telling him, I met my agents last week and I need to improve my book. He was like, I could shoot you. And then he was like showing me all these like photo inspirations that he wants to do. And I'm like,
That's so cool.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. So
that is very power couple
we'll
vibes.
see.
That's exactly the kind of thing that makes such a great relationship. Like you said, having somebody who's like your fan.
Yeah.
You know?
So not to break up this amazing conversation, however, we have made it almost all the way through this episode without actually asking you, what is your worst date?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's the name. Oh shit, my worst date. I should have thought about this before I came. I didn't.
You know,
I was like, oh,
it doesn't even have to be like, look, we've had worst dates that are like, what? And we've also had like, that's criminal, you know, and we've also, it could just be like an off thing, a weird thing. Something weird happened on a date you were on.
Okay, I got it. Well, so it was recent. Okay, so like
is it the guy you're with now?
No, our first date was actually the best I've ever been on.
Oh my God, I love that.
But okay, so my worst date was I went out with this guy and he brought me to like this independent movie theater, which was really nice. And then he wanted to get pasta after, and I am gluten-free. So he's like, yeah, they have gluten-free pasta. Go on the website, found out that they cross-contaminate. So I'm like, can't do that. So we ended up getting burgers. Fine. We're by the beach. We're walking around. I'm like, I'm cold. He's like, we could go to like some bar. I'm like, okay, let's go to a bar, but like probably not going to drink. He's like, how are you going to go to a bar and not drink? I'm like, okay, I guess we're drinking. So we go. And I order wine, which blew him away that I ordered wine at a bar. But I'm like, I don't give a fuck. This is all I drink for alcohol. I don't even drink. So whatever. So
right, and you're gluten free, so you can't really have beer.
we were already off to like a rough start.
Also, how is that weird? We order wine at bars all the time.
It's so weird. I'm like, who gives a fuck? Like, I hope you grow out of that, dude. Like, I don't know. So
honestly, people get so weird
about like, small
food
things.
and drink preferences. I feel like it's like a defensive thing.
Yeah.
Like,
really? What is that?
People get really weird. Like if you go to the bar, you can just order a soda water. We can still sit and talk.
Yeah, so
but people do get super weird about that.
So weird about it that I wasn't. So anyway, so the waitress comes over, and he had paid for everything so far. And I like first date. I don't care what the gender is. I like to be the one taken care of, low key. So he's like not looking for his card. And I'm like, oh, do you want me to pay? He's like, yeah, you pay for this one. I'll get the next round. I'm like, so
well, you don't even want to be drinking at all.
I didn't exactly.
So
I didn't even want to be fucking drinking.
What do you mean the next round?
I was so
there won't
mad.
be a round two.
So I'm like, oh, okay. Then has the nerve after to ask me, how do you feel about that? And I said, I'm a little bit traditional in the beginning. Like, I like to be taken care of first. Obviously, down the line, we can switch it up. So at this time, I was about to pay so much money for this music video. So I was planning to go on this date to not spend any money, right? So the drinks are like $25, but I was so pissed off. He could see I like shut down. I went to the bathroom. It's 11 o'clock at night. I'm from the East Coast. It's 2 a.m. I call my mom and I cry to her in the stall about these $25 fucking drinks. And she's like, the money's gone. Like, you have to just let it go. And I'm like,
that's such good.
I'm spending thousands of dollars in a music video. I don't even like this fucking guy. She goes, grab your shit and get the fuck out of there and leave the drink. Like, screw that guy. So I ended up going back out, and he actually ended up paying for the drinks. He could see how mad I was. So I stayed probably 20 more minutes, and then I left. And he still had the nerve after to like text me a couple times asking to hang out. And I was like, absolutely not. Like, this was a terrible day. And you made me feel like shit for my drink choice.
Yeah,
and
for everything.
also,
I didn't even want to drink
food choice.
in the
cried
first
in
place.
the bathroom because of all the stress of money and like, I don't know. So
I
that was really,
understand
like, the
that
worst.
feeling though, like that whenever you are in my early 20s when I first came out to LA, it was like $25 was a big deal.
Yeah,
you know,
You're
especially
like
when you
spending
live alone.
thousands of
Also,
dollars on
yeah.
a music video.
and when you're not expecting it, you know, like because you
That's what threw me
being
off.
responsible, you're budgeting, like so when you're not expecting to have to put money out, like. I've made that conversation. I mean, I've made that phone call to my mom, like, where I'm just like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. You know,
she's like, "What do you want?" I'm like, "This is an emergency, bitch. You have to stay up. Like, I have to cry to you right now."
It's an emergency.
And I was in the bathroom probably.
She's
10
like, you gotta let
minutes.
that $25 go.
Yeah.
It
She
is gone
really did.
already.
She's
I
like,
love it.
Let it go. It's gone. It's not yours anymore. I'm like,
Well,
that sounds like
and
my
this is
mom.
such a
Yeah.
Leo moms.
Leo mom.
Yeah.
It's such a good thing to bring up though too, because I follow a TikTok. I think the handle's "Oh You Pretty Thing." She's dating in New York, and she has talked about, you know, how she likes her first date etiquette to be that she's just like, you know, I prefer to be taken care of on the first date. I prefer dinner dates. Like, this is what I like. And we have talked about this on the podcast before, where it's just like, you are absolutely allowed to have expectations of preference and whatever. And, you know, if that person wants to get to know you, then they have to meet those.
Exactly.
Those. And also being, you know, female is just way more fucking expensive.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, than being a male in the world. All the things that we have to buy, our makeup, our feminine products, like all of those things.
Birth control is usually on us.
All
like,
those,
God
those
forbid
things.
we get pregnant, then almost always
buy the
dinner.
Buy the fucking drink. I was shocked at how I was treated.
It's
dating
an interesting thing because I will see that argument get made, and I will see like men in the comments be like, "Well, you don't have to do blah blah blah," and it's just like, okay, but you realize like you wouldn't date a woman who didn't quote unquote take care of herself in the way that you think that women should be taking care of themselves. So that is expensive. Like I'm shaving my, and also not only is it expensive in terms of like financially expensive, it's expensive in terms of my time. Like the amount of time that I am spending shaving my whole fucking body, like doing my makeup, doing my hair,
getting the facials, dyeing your hair, like
you
all
know,
of it.
and like, so yes, you're right. I don't have to spend money on these things, but be honest that like you're not what you think is like a natural woman is a woman who has like, you know, definitely.
Well, even for me, like I identify as androgynous. And so like, I'm sort of between masc and femme energy, but I was definitely in my femme energy for this date, especially like if I date a guy, I prefer to be more in my femme energy.
Sure.
And so like even still then, like I still kind of want to be taken care of, and like I still will, you know, dress to look nice on the date, and like, you know, I still want to be taken care of, like even for non-binary androgynous people, like
Absolutely.
we still want to be taken care of.
Well, and you
also.
still have to take care of yourself. You
But
know,
regardless, yeah.
you still there's still a
I
care
feel like the
element.
men are gonna be like, well, if you're androgynous, what do you? And it's like I don't know, because like if you're in your femme energy, like you have to take care of yourself, and still in a certain way.
Absolutely.
You know, still in a certain way. So that requires, I think, a little more work.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah. So
I agree.
yeah. I know.
But I think too, it's just about like, you know, an understanding of expectations.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's nothing wrong with having expectations. There's nothing wrong with, but that also eliminates people who aren't into that. And you know what? Great.
And that's fine. Yeah.
And that's
like,
absolutely fine.
I'm one of those people who would be okay going Dutch on a first date or whatever.
Really?
See, I actually would prefer it.
I would be. But I know that that's not everybody's thing. And so I'm just like, it's all about just kind of like, oh, we just don't vibe.
Yeah.
Like,
I also prefer Dutch, and it's
I
for
wouldn't
me,
mind if he wanted to pay, but I also would be, I'm not saying I prefer it. I'm just saying
I don't want them to think that I owe,
owe
them,
them
something.
That's
What
exactly,
threw me off was
exactly
like,
what it boils down
if
to.
you're gonna make me pay halfway, then don't follow up with how do you feel about paying halfway? Like that's so fucking.
That's a
It
question
puts
you
you
should
on the
have
spot.
asked.
Yeah.
And they
What?
should have asked that question beforehand. Like,
And he
why would
definitely
you?
knew I was visibly upset. And I think that's why he asked.
Well, and I think the issue for me with your specific situation as well is he kind of
Screwed
pushed
on
you.
you.
Well, and he pushed
Fully.
you into going to somewhere you didn't want to go in the first place. So
Yes.
if you are asking me to do something that I don't even really want to be doing, then don't
then pay
also
for
ask
it?
me to pay
Fully.
for it.
Yes.
Like I didn't ask to go to this bar, dude.
Yes.
exactly.
Like so,
I didn't even
This
want to
is your
drink. I
idea.
just said
agree.
This
that.
is your idea. Yeah, 100%.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh my gosh. Well, I definitely want to get more into astrology. We'll definitely do that off camera, but it has been
yeah.
so great to get to
Yes.
talk to you.
Yeah.
Please tell our listeners where they can find you, where they can follow, and do all the damn things.
Yeah, so I am on TikTok at TOMMI Aura, Tommi Aura, and then Instagram OMG Tommi Aura. I'm on Spotify, Tommi Aura. I'm everywhere, all the platforms, all the things.
Yes.
Yeah, this will
Stream
be in
I'm
our
Not a Boy. Got an EP coming out soon, dropping merch.
Yeah.
Soon, which is really exciting.
I love that.
this
We'll
will
make-
be in our show notes
Yes,
as
exactly.
well.
We'll make sure to-
all new stuff coming, but I keep up to date on my socials, so you'll find everything there. But
Awesome.
Yeah, that's me.
Oh my God. Well, we so appreciate having you.
Thanks for having
And
me.
everyone, we love you so much.
Cheers. Sweet.
Thank you guys.